Hi friends, it's Miss Jill from the Cary Area Public Library. Did you know that Mother's Day is coming up soon? Mother's Day is the day when we celebrate our mommies and our grandmas and all the special ladies that take care of us. So for this Mother's Day, I thought I would make something that my mommy could use that's pretty and would also help protect her from germs. Soap. Follow me, we'll gather our materials and let's get started. Okay, so the supplies you'll need for this, the first thing is soap, and I just have plain glycerin soap. I have 1.5 ounces that we're gonna work with, and that will it's just a little bit more than I need to fit into these shallow heart molds, and I have 4 of them here to make 4 little soaps. I have a butter knife to cut my soap. I have a microwave safe glass measuring cup to melt my soap in, and it has a spout, so that's going to help me pour my soap in. If you don't have something with a spout, you can also get around that by using a spoon. I have a little bit of dye for my soap and a little bit of fragrance in this container here. I have a pipette to help me get that out, and I also have an empty candy tin to store my soap when I'm done making it. And I'm also going to cut my soap on this flexible plastic cutting board that will help me, when I'm done cutting the soap, dump it into my cup. Okay, so first I'm gonna cut my soap to make melting it easier. So I'm just gonna take my butter knife and slice it into small pieces like this. And this will be good to help you practice your cutting skills. Because the soap, while it's not super duper soft, it's pretty soft and it's pretty easy to make little small pieces. So just go along and cut it all up into small bits. While you're doing this, you can also practice. This hand holds the knife, but this hand is important too when you're cutting. Sometimes you want to hold it like this with your thumb out, and if you had a real sharp knife, you could end up, when you went down, cutting here. So a really good thing to practice is to kind of make it like a gripper like this, sort of grip like this, so you don't have your fingers sticking in the way. So you could practice that technique too if you want, because that's a really good skill to learn. Keep those fingers out of the way of the knife. Okay, we got the soap cut up, and this is where I'm gonna kind of just bend my board, just dump it all in. Okay, now I'm gonna take this to the microwave. This is where my adult helper will probably come in. And I'm only gonna do maybe about 30 seconds, maybe even a little less, because it doesn't take very long at all to melt this. Okay, my soap is melted, and it actually only took about 10 seconds, and it's really not even hot. You know, it's not gonna burn me or anything like that. It's still good to have your adult helper do the microwave part. Now you're gonna use a spoon. I have a knife, but so that works too. Same one I used to cut up my soap. I'm gonna stir it up. And then, to get out, I'm gonna take my pipette, squeeze the bulb, and suck up some of the dye. Not all the way up. And the fragrance, and get it into the soap. It's going to take a couple times of doing that. Okay, let's see. We'll stir it up now and see if that works well. Ooh, look at that, isn't that pretty? Now while you're working with it, it will start to cool, and when it starts to cool, guess what happens? It gets hard again. And that's fine, because guess what you can do? You can just pop it back into the microwave for a couple more seconds, and it will be nice and liquid again for you to work with. So while you're doing this, you don't have to rush, but see how it's starting to clump up a little bit there? I'm gonna go make sure all of my color is incorporated, and I'm just gonna pop it back into the microwave just for maybe another 5 seconds. Okay, now we're ready to pour. Now these molds are really shallow, so you really only need a little bit of soap. It fills up quick. And this part I have found, even me doing it sometimes, I go like this, and it kind of goes everywhere. That's okay. If that happens to you, that's fine, because you know what? Again, when the soap dries, it gets hard and we can just peel it off and remelt it. So that's okay if we wanted to. We actually have enough here, so that's fine. And after this dries, we can clean those up. So don't worry if you spill. And again, if you didn't have something with a spout, you could use a spoon and maybe try, you know, maybe your adult helper could hold it like this and you could take a spoon and kind of pour it in. But it's not gonna be super neat, and that's okay. Once you've got them filled, you're just gonna let them rest. They'll take maybe at least an hour. These are pretty shallow, so about an hour, maybe two. Even overnight is better, and just leave them alone for a little bit. Okay, so we're back, and it looks like they're hard, nice and hard. To get these out, this one I think is already kind of out. They look like that. Sometimes now, and then you see I didn't do it perfect here. It kind of spilled over. You kind of turn it over and use some muscles here. I was able to pop it out. And I'll show you what we can do to fix this one. If that happens to you, you can always take your butter knife and kind of just cut around it like this, or even just kind of bend it carefully and just peel it right off. There you go. Isn't that cool? And you kind of just smooth down the edge, and it's lovely. It's very nice hard. You wouldn't even know that that happened. Now, sometimes you get kind of stuck, and you know, just pushing it here won't work. If that happens, you can take your butter knife. You might want to have your adult do this and just kind of push it in on the side to pry it out. Okay, so we've done our soap. I'm gonna take my candy tin, and if you want, you can just put your soap right in like this, and it's a nice way to contain them. If you'd like to do another step though, what we can do is decorate our box. And to do that, I'm just using 2 pieces of, I think these are like big labels that are sticky. So what I'm gonna do to get the shape of this, I'm just gonna turn my candy box over on one of them and trace with a pencil around the outside to get the shape. And then I would just cut this part out. So this one would be for the top. And I'm also think it would be fun to do one inside. And to do that, I do the same thing. And again, on my second sticker, trace around this one again and cut these out. And so here's an example of a tin that I made. I took one of the stickers and I drew a picture of me and my mommy at the park on the top. And then for the inside one, I wrote a little poem for my mommy and I signed my name here. And I put my soap in here so my mommy can take this wherever she goes, and it will help protect her from germs. I hope you had fun making your soap today. I know your mommy or your grandma or special lady that takes care of you will love this gift. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time for another fun activity from the Cary Area Library.